Hey, do y'all tables here? So remember when I made a video saying that I was pretty much done with the Zombiemancer? Well, I changed my mind, and we did a few upgrades to the build, namely making ourselves less tanky and pumping out as much DPS as possible. Right, so this build is kind of morphed into pretty much a really strong bosser. I mean, we're upwards of 20 million damage now. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't have any bosses. I'm so sorry. I don't have any bosses to do at the current moment, which is kind of sad. So I'm just going to show you guys a mapping video. But we ended up dumping our shield and just went um, double wand setup, right? With cast speed, damage, all that good stuff. It's been some courtesy and like properly crafted an amber amulet specifically niche for this build, right? So I mean, it literally it has everything we need: open suffix with a resist, tier 1 life, and tier 1 strength with max raise zombies. This deck is incredible, actually, for our build. It's incredible. This ring could be upgraded to some degree, but I decided to leave it alone. I'm working on getting a proper belt with increased attributes, an open suffix with strength, and tier 2 to tier 1 life. But that is proving very difficult in terms of crafting. It's going to end up being extremely expensive. We upgraded, we got our Divulgent Multi Strike. We upgraded, we got our Awakened Generosity, Anomalous Assassin's Mark. Really, just kind of like a bunch of gem upgrades, a few gear upgrades. I mean, we probably dropped about 7 EX, maybe probably like 8, probably like 9 or 10 EX. I went ahead and bought this because I didn't really feel like crafting one. I had kind of gone tilt on the carrion build and like went back to the drawing board because I didn't like the way the build was set up, and I kind of needed to go on a shopping spree, right? So this is pretty much where we landed. I'll quickly show you guys the POB for this build, which is which is our current setup, like as it stands right now with all the juice. We're about 19.9 million DPS. Added in some extra clusters, and that's with the initial effect of Pride. So for bosses, obviously we'll be upwards of 20 million DPS, and also another massive change is we swapped around our tree a little bit, and we picked this up, right? So this jewel drops off of Searing Exarch, right? And I saw it and I was like, man, this is kind of a weird looking gem. And I started thinking, like, what could I use this for? And we were already like pretty low on life, and so I mean, to be honest, this build is pretty ass at mapping. It's pretty bad. It's a lot more forgiving on like open maps, like Shore. But for something like Crimson Temple, it can be very rippy, especially if you're grinding altars. And also, if you choose this node right here, which we did because YOLO. And so what this essentially does is all the energy shield that I have is gone. And I just get a straight flat 30% more life. So we went from like 4,200 to like almost 6,000. So that gave us quite a bit of mapping potential, considering we have really no other defenses to speak of. And yeah, I mean, how it works is like, but every time I take damage, my life is reserved. And then like I can see visually really notice like, oh, I'm getting fucked up, I should leave, and then I wait 2 seconds and then I regen. I think it's a pretty badass jewel. I dig it. At the very least, you know, we get 30% more life, and that's a more. So that's a multiplier. That's not increased, right? That's more. That's huge. Skitterbots, aspects, pride, precision, dread, vitality, the whole 9 yards. We'll go with that. I'm just gonna do a quick little mappage with a Crimson Temple. It's not mega juice because we're not doing scarabs since we're currently stream of consciousness right now. But we are gonna do domination because we have free craft. 113% quants. Probably gonna die a few times. We'll see what happens. If I, dude, I've been grinding the ever-loving shit out of this freaking map, and I still haven't got my daggum apothecary. So who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky in this map and it'll drop. That would be pretty crazy. I would very much enjoy that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop our scents. This might be an awful idea. Never mind. No, it's not. We're wrecking everything. Basic items. Yeah, I'm good with that because that's not really a bad one. The Curse Reflect is kind of whatever, honestly. My strats with Crimson Temp are essentially just pushing as fast as I can to the actual boss room, and just kind of like, I like to like flame dash ahead of like a major pack. Okay, fuck it. Let's do it. If we're gonna do it, let's do it Rippy. So that way, the wave of minions just comes and annihilates everything, right? I mean, like, if I stay behind my minions, it's really, you know, it's really not that bad, right? It's not awful. It could be worse. Sometimes we get one shot, sometimes we don't. It just kind of depends. We'll do, I don't know why my thing isn't popping. There it goes. As you can see, this is like fairly, you know, this the map is fairly like juice as far as like mods go, and even with oh, there we go. We got one shot. We're also kind of lagging, by the way. My internet's a little bit on the fritz, so I don't know why I'm regaining health. We may end up disconnecting here. I don't know. It shows me alive regenerating, but I literally just died. It's kind of funny. So that's one rip. It's just this layout of this map, like while it's good, is not like super conducive to minions, because you know, doorways and whatnot. But and part of the another issue is the fact that I am having to push forward, and then like my minions will follow, and I just don't. I'm not built defensively enough. Like right there, right? You saw I pushed forward so that my minions would come behind me. I would flesh offering so they would get there quicker. But I can't really, I have to stay somewhat behind my minions, which makes the mapping like kind of slow, which is why this is more of a bosser than anything else. I can pretty much ignore most mechanics. I can pretty much insta-phase every single boss in the game. It's kind of nuts. Oh, and yeah, there's the fire. I should have put a portal down. This is quite literally the worst showcase of the build I could possibly think of. Yet here I am doing a video on how bad of a mapper this this build is. I don't even know what's shooting out that fire. That firestorm. Wow, they actually dropped like a bunch of stuff, but it's all kind of terrible. Oh, well, that's because my item filter's on the basic one, actually. I just remembered that. So, I mean, obviously, like, if I didn't take some of these altars, I think we'd be in a much different situation. And you see, like, my life is getting reserved, and so I just wait a little bit. And you know, as long as I stay by my minions, for the most part, unless these mobs have Pierce or some way to get to me, I really don't have that much of an issue staying alive. It just makes the mapping experience kind of slow. But I should not be frozen there. The minions, they just destroy fucking everything. Literally everything. Every boss in the game has been an absolute joke. I'm thinking about redoing the Feared and the Hidden, because previously on the build we weren't able to do it, namely because of my defenses, but we also were only running about 9 million damage when we did that fight, and I think that since we've literally doubled it, I think that's going to change quite a bit. Let's hit up this Essence. I don't have a Remnant, unfortunately. Maybe we can, if I can find like a really, hopefully this one's juicy. Ah, bummer. It's not juicy at all. Feels sad. Mega lag. Holy moly. And unfortunately, we don't have any ROG or 2-gen in this map, sadly. But we died a few times. We're still level 92. I'm fine where the build's at. I'm not super concerned about leveling anymore. But upgrade, like there was still some room to upgrade. And I'm pretty happy with the money spent. I think it really improved our ability to like just absolutely demolish single target. So still at 1,000 strength. We had like 1,200 at one point, but I ended up dipping for some other stuff. So, and I'm still crafting the cluster jewel. So we're probably not at 24. We're probably closer to about 20 million total right now. But with that cluster, we'll be at essentially 24 million on almost any boss, save for a map boss, because of the max Pridor effect. So the build's fantastic for what it is, right? Especially if you're really focused on bossing, and you're doing all of these nodes, you're doing Maven, Perfect Storm, Memento Mori. I mean, this build was fucking made for this portion of the tree. And I didn't really realize this at the time. I really just wanted a good map farmer, and it turns out I got a good map farmer that just dies a shit ton. And what I ended up with was a semi-decent map farmer, but an insanely good boss farmer. So it's a proper evolution of the build. It's all a learning process. This is like my first successful build in like 2 leagues, so I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of myself for what I put together. And it just kind of like, I ran into a problem, I fixed it, Announcement for some things. The Carrion Golem is back in rework. I'm currently leveling like 3 different characters to figure out like what is the actual best, most efficient way to level a minion build from Act 1 to Act 10 and then into maps, right? So I'm back to the drawing board on that. I think I've settled still on Carrion Golem as like your best generic, in my opinion, your best generic setup. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, this is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for liking, all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. And I will talk to you guys very soon in the next video. Y'all be good, all right? Take care.